Hey guys, this is 9 Odd. Welcome back. Today, as you can see, and as you can probably hear, we're in a different location. We're actually in my kitchen right now, over in the dining room, because today we're taking a look at Titan's Return Fortress Maximus. Quick couple things about this figure in particular. Firstly, he was a gift from my girlfriend. She picked this guy up for me, and I'm super excited. And after waiting a couple extra weeks to get him, he was fantastic, and I'm so happy to have him in the collection. On top of that, you may be noticing he has two helicopter pads, which some of you might know, that is the DNA Design DK04 upgrade kit. That is how I'm going to be reviewing this figure, and that's really all I have to say. This is going to be my opinion on Titan's Return Fort Max with that upgrade kit. First thing about the upgrade kit itself, I'm also going to be walking around because this is such a massive figure and he is on the table. First thing about the DK04, it comes with these helicopter pads, and it says they tab in. They don't. Like, there's holes and stuff for pegs, but there's no pegs. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but if I am, let me know, and I will write that at some other point, probably in an Instagram post. Again, before we get too deep into the city mode, size comparison, we have, of course, my lovely assistant Brainstorm, who you can see is pretty decent scaled. That's going to fall off. I'm going to move this, that way we can just kind of show that. I'm going to take these off for the time being. I'll put them back on in battleship mode, but they kind of just go in the same place and do the same thing. As you can see, he is definitely more scaled to fit with legend scale figures, especially down here. So yeah, definitely a bit of a different figure. You can lift up these bits if you want to give them like these towers. That's really all there is in city mode. He does have lights and sounds. Does this button work? No. Okay, so to access the lights and sounds, you just want to push this button up here. Sounds like a cannon firing. Oh, Emissary has a voice line. That's kind of cool. Lasers, a power down noise. Kind of sounds like a communication noise. And some other... oh, some like city noises. There's the power up noise, and I think that's it. Since he mentioned it, let's bring in Emissary, who is standing right there. This is Cerebros' Titan Master, Headmaster, and he is pretty cool. He has blue legs, gray thighs, nice silver painted face, and he's very unique looking when compared to the other Titan Masters. He is very different looking. And of course on the back is Cerebros' face. This is actually different on the San Diego Comic-Con version. The San Diego version has the Japanese head, has the Takara head. So if you are looking for a more stylized or a Fort Max to go with your retro headmasters, you may want to look into that one, that version. But you can also just get there's two things I think I mentioned earlier. There's that face swap kit by Fix-It Studios that comes with a head for him, but you can also just get one on Shapeways. There's a guy who does a couple different heads for this guy on Shapeways. Now, to convert this figure into battle station mode, because there's really nothing to talk about in city mode, it's a very simple conversion. I'm going to move these things off to the side. Okay, so right before I transformed him into city mode, my girlfriend brought up a really neat point. So recently on Instagram, I posted some pictures of Scorponok with some Hershey's Kisses figures. I don't know if you've seen these. These are like these little Hershey's Kisses treasure box Transformers figures. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're these little PVC figures, and they look pretty good, kind of just standing around Fort Max. They're just dinky enough. But we'll grab Grimlock. I do have a Megatron as well. I think I have all of them except Bumblebee. But bringing them a little bit closer, you can see they're a pretty decent size for the Titan Masters, which is very cool if Grimlock will properly... yeah, so there you go. See, they're a pretty decent size to scale with the Titan Masters, which means that they are what Hasbro calls in scale with this, which is really cool. So, you know, you can get yourself some of these guys, which are, you know, Starscream, Optimus Prime, Grimlock, etc. And, you know, have yourself Dylan, good old time in Fort Max City. Pretty neat. That's really all. That's just something you can do if you have those figures. You can pick those up, and they're like $4. No, they're $2 a piece for the treasure chest. They're real cheap. Anyways, we're gonna take Emissary. We're gonna move him real quick, and we're gonna turn this guy into a battle station. So it's really simple. You just take his leg, bring it in. Take his other leg, bring it in. We're gonna turn him to the side. Doom. Battle station mode. That's really it. Oh, you gotta fix his foot. Mine is, it doesn't want to, this foot in particular does not like snapping. I'm not gonna force it. I don't wanna. But anyways, the other thing that you're supposed to do, I believe, do these just go on right there? I have no clue where these go. I think they go, I wanna say they go like here in battle station mode, but they might just go like right there as well. But I didn't grab the instructions for that, so. So I'm just gonna leave these off until robot mode. But yeah, understandably, a lot of people don't care for this guy's alt modes. This is an alt mode that he was in the Headmasters, and he was, unlike some of the other city formers who take up their city modes and are almost exclusively in their city modes and not their tertiary modes, this guy was almost exclusively a battleship from what I saw, at least for the first 8 episodes of the Headmasters cartoon. He was a battleship. He was not a city. It was Cerebros, it was Cerebros or Fortress, whatever you want to call him. And he was just piloting this ship, going to Athenia, going back to the other different planets. So yeah, I think it's pretty accurate. What is kind of cool on the runway, he does have a in and a coming in and a going runway. Unfortunately, he does suffer because right here, there's the gap where the little arm from Metroplex was. So he doesn't really have the room for the other stickers. And that's something that you see a lot on this figure. That's something a lot of people complain about, is that there's so much of Metroplex in this figure, it really does hurt it. Like, there's this joint right here that is vestigial from Metroplex. There's this hole right here that's vestigial from Metroplex. The legs interiors, those have no point of being Metroplex's legs, and I think the only reason that they reused so much of Metroplex for this figure was because they didn't want to make a figure this big without reusing parts, and 2, Trypticon was also a Titan's Return Titan, yeah. So I think that Fort Max kind of got the shaft there, and unfortunately that means that third-party companies kind of have to pick up the slack there. But yeah, I mean, it looks good. It looks like Fort Max's battle station mode from the cartoon. I wish that they would have engineered this in some way for the legs to kind of collapse up around the hip to bring this in and bring that closer to that. But other than that, I think that's really it. That would just make it cleaner. Also, why does Battle Station have a ramp on the back of it? That's just me. That would have been nice if that had an extra hinge to flip up and collapse right there. Another thing, I don't know if they're over here. That might just be yeah, it's just on the Repro label set. There should be windows over here, because this is the front of the battleship. It goes from facing this way to facing this way. This being the front of the battleship. It would be really nice for there would be windows right there. And I'm just now noticing this. This would have been really cool to do, especially if these legs were able to move a little bit more. So these are the coming in arrows, like the landing, but it continues pointing on this one. Like the arrows on the legs go the same way as the arrows on the back of the arms. So it would have been really nice if they could have found a way to kind of match these up with the back of the arms or something right there. That would have been really cool, but whatever. Anyways, let's get this guy into robot mode. But before we do that, I'm going to drop the camera a little bit and we're going to take a look at Cerebros. So first thing you got to do is detach him. And with that, we're going to drop the camera down and I'll see you guys at kind of table level. All right, so here we are at table level, and this is Cerebros in his computer mode, tower mode, whatever you want to call it. It's his nondescript block mode that really just exists to fill in the gap on Fort Max. And there are a couple things that I like. I mean, I guess it fills the void. It does have these kind of jets right here, which is interesting considering that's like the back. That's the, yeah, that goes under Fort Max's head. So I wonder what those are meant to be other than just like jets. Is it meant to be like jets to lift him up when he headmasters up? But whatever. Of course, we already talked a little bit about Emissary. Emissary is really cool. And we actually did get to see Emissary. If you've seen the Power of the Primes or the Prime Wars trilogy show, you get to see Emissary a bit in that. But we're going to fold up Emissary, and we're going to pop him on to Cerebros. Hey, that was convenient. So I heard him say Emissary, now he's saying Cerebros. And to transform Cerebros, you just flip his arms back until they tab in. Take his toes, fold them down. He has a heel and a toe. Do it on both sides. And I have to straighten out the arms because I turned them a bit. And there we go. That is Cerebros in his robot mode. Now, for comparison, of course, we will compare him to Brainstorm. And there he is with my customized retro Brainstorm. And if you want to see some better pictures of what I did to change this guy up, you can go to my Instagram. It's at Bots Obsession. You can see that where all that. But anyways, you can see he's a pretty big boy. He is, but he's also not the same size as a Titan's Return Voyager. But these guys are about the same size as a Siege or War for Cybertron Deluxe class, which is really convenient considering that they're probably not going to make any more Headmasters figures. He is about the same size as a Siege Voyager. He's just big enough to be about a Siege Voyager, which is really cool. And it kind of feels like they future-proofed him because that's how I display these guys. These guys go next to my Siege and Earthrise figures. So, yeah. But there is Cerebros, and Cerebros does have some unique sounds. He has lasers, even though he comes with no gun or accessory. Triple lasers. Says his name. I think that's it. I think he really only has like 4 sounds. A lot of laser blasts, which is weird because there's no accessory for him. I believe you can get accessories for this guy. I know that there are third-party kits that fill this in, as well as the foot right there. And I think specifically Toy Hacks comes with some stuff for that, and it turns his arms into like windows for the city mode. It's kind of cool. But anyways, I'm going to take Brainstorm away, set him off to the side until later. And let's get this guy into head mode. So to do head mode, what I like to do, I like to turn the arms back, basically into how I had them for city mode. Alright, so you turn the arms sideways, you fold them in, just like you're turning them into the tower, computer mode, whatever. You flip up the toes, you leave the head on, and then you fold right there, and bring up until it tabs in. There's a nice tab right there, and a slot on the side of the leg. So you're just going to bring those down, fold that in, flip it over, flip out those notches, and get a nice little transformation noise there, and there we have Fort Max's head. Now it does do it both ways. So if you do want to, if you were wondering about that. I like doing the arms like this. It feels like they stay in place more. Yeah, his fingers are poking up over the top of Fort Max's head, but there's not really a lot we can do about that. This guy does kind of have to do a lot, and he does suffer a bit for it. But anyways, I'm going to set this off to the side, and we're going to get into the transformation for Fortress Maximus. So the first thing I want to address when talking about Fortress Maximus is equipping the upgrade kit. Because, like I mentioned, that's how I'm going to be talking about this figure. So the first things you want to do to get this guy transformed, his legs are on a slider, much like Metroplex's. You just want to slide that leg out at the knee, and then do it on the same on the other side. So that way you can see it forms a nice gap right there. Take the feet, they haven't already done it, and snap them up there. This one actually locks in. There we go. Oh, There we go, I think. This panel is kind of punched in. I don't know what that panel does, but yeah. All right, so here comes the weird part. So this is the new foot. This is the DNA Designs foot. You can see this is the outer panel that's gonna cover up this section. You can see there's 2 tabs right there, and there's actually, if we flip this up, there's a clip bit right there. So this clip is gonna go right here and kind of loop around that, while these 2 tabs are gonna slide in right there. I'm gonna do this off camera, or I'm gonna cut out me doing it because it's gonna be weird and I have to put a lot of force behind this because you're squeezing tabs in places that I assume tabs were never meant to be. And yeah, it's just gonna be a second, but yeah, you basically just wanna take it and slide it on there, and then you got your new foot. Okay, so I kind of already took the liberty of standing this guy up. You can see I got the foot panels on there, and you just wanna stand him up. We're gonna move the camera upward right here, because this guy gets pretty big, just standing him up. This guy is over 2 feet tall. Metroplex is about 1 foot tall. This guy is about 2 foot and an inch. But anyways, these panels, which were down, you want to fold them up. They will click into place, split right here, snap those in, and then it's as simple as folding the ramp down along the back, bringing the arms down, and flipping out the hands. With that all said, there is Fort Max in robot mode, and mine likes to lean back. He has a weird thing. But anyways, last thing you gotta do, take Cerebros, there you go, and it's gonna clip in, has those 2 side clips right there, and the head isn't really gonna do anything. So you just wanna line everything up, get the emissary. Is emissary's arms poked out, okay. So I don't know if this is just mine, but every time I thump him down on there, he always does that boot up noise. So Fortress Maximus, now that he is Fortress Maximized, does have a couple different noises. That is convenient, we're getting their names every time, I love it. Yeah, so of course he says his name. Some gun noises carried over from Cerebros. Calls out a singular Decepticon, which seems really weird to me that only one Decepticon would fight him. It's okay, we know who it probably was. More guns, power down noise. He says Autobot, so maybe he's like the Harry Potter sorting hat. He's like Autobot, Decepticon. He's picking out what you're gonna be on. Some beepy noises. And the power up sound again. I'm gonna operate under the assumption that that's the final noise. This guy is huge. He, like I mentioned, he is like over 2 foot tall. Let me get Brainstorm in here. Move my chair. Let me kind of pan down and get Brainstorm and show you just how massive this guy is compared to your average deluxe. Like, there's Brainstorm. This guy is not tiny. For some other quick comparisons, I'm going to pull the camera back and I'm going to grab my other 2 Titans, the only other 2 Titan figures I own, and I'm going to compare them to this guy. So I've pulled the camera back, and as you can see, we have Brainstorm down there as your average deluxe. We have Titan class Devastator and Earthrise Titan class Scorponok, just to kind of show you how massive this guy is. I guess this is more to show how short Devastator is when compared to other Titans. Him and Predaking, Devastator and Predaking are the same size, roughly. I think Devastator might be a little taller. Scorponok is definitely, I feel, about the right size, although now that I have them in the light, he is like a whole head shorter than Fort Max, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, they are huge. Like, Fort Max, Scorponok are massive. Like, I got Scorponok in the mail. I actually did get him new, and I can't wait to do his review for you guys. But yeah, and then I got Fort Max's box, and they were completely different sizes. It's nuts. All right, so we're gonna bring the camera in and we're gonna talk articulation. Alrighty, so we're just gonna kind of work our way down. At the top of the head, he does have a head swivel. It goes, oh, I think it can go, nope. Oh, yes, it can. Goes a full 360 at the head. Kind of cool. He has full 360 at the arms. They are ratcheted right there at the shoulder. These ramps are really floppy. He has outward ratcheted motion at both shoulders, but at this one, he has that vestigial joint from Metroplex. I'm not going to pop it just because I don't feel like it. It also serves no purpose, but something on mine, this joint does pop out a bit on the arm. At the upper arm, he has a full 360. Elbows come up pretty far, and I think this is because Metroplex's arms had to fold up like this. I'm not totally sure. At the wrist, he has a full swivel, a bit of an in and out for transformation. The thumb comes out, and he has individually pointable fingers, although they are slightly curved, so they're a little bit weird. But he can do, like, you know, like rocker, like Spider-Man. He can be like that. He can do like two. He can count to two. So yeah, pretty cool. It sucks that they are kind of in a relaxed position, that he doesn't have a knuckle. I really wish he did have a knuckle, because being able to point the finger straight would help this figure out a lot. Now, just kind of right here at the waist, he has full 360 ratchet motion there. And this is where one of the differences comes in. This is not stock on Fort Max. This is a replacement part that comes from DNA Design. The original waist piece of his is actually Metroplex's groin reverse. So it has the screws on the front side, which now resides on the back, which is why he has a little tampograph there, because like I said, I got this guy used and I'm pretty sure he has all the stickers on him. But anyways, moving to the hips, which is kind of where I'm gonna start panning the camera down. Moving to the hips on this guy, I'm gonna slide this out. Because I have the DNA Design kit, it does change the way his hips work. His original ratchets only gave you about 3 clicks out of the hips. Right now I have him standing pretty straight, but just by grabbing him here, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's all the way up, is 10. And you can see, so, his foot panel. So now instead of just standing stock straight or like way out here, he can now stand just 1 click out, kind of like Scorponok does. Mine really likes to tilt backwards, and it's pretty nice. He is rocking on those foot panels though, and I'm not totally sure why. There we go. Yeah, so he does have a bit of a balancing issue. He does have thigh swivel. A very loud and creaky, clackety thigh swivel. It's kind of the same on both sides. I really don't like it. He does have knees, which give you about 90 degrees if you don't get your foot kit stuck on the table. And because I have the DNA Design kit, moving down one last time, he does have kind of ankle pivot. It's more so just like a stabilizer to help him keep his footing more than anything. Let's kind of push those on a little bit more. So yeah, really good kit. I will say, I definitely like the way it helps him kind of just. It does make him feel a bit more stable. I like the way that they work with the rest of the figure. I like that it gives him new hips that help him kind of articulate better. It does really, really enhance the figure. So if you are thinking about getting the hip upgrade kit for this guy, I definitely say go for it. Alrighty. Well, overall, Fortress Maximus, really cool figure, really good figure, and like, Metroplex is almost double what this guy is asking for online on eBay. Unlike Combiner Wars Devastator, as far as I know, Hasbro has never restocked Fort Max. They've never reissued him like they did Devastator, which really is a shame because this figure is so nice, and especially with the Retro Headmaster reissues, I do think that they could definitely restock this on their website and call it good, but who knows. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see some more pictures of this guy, if you want to see some pictures of him with all the other Retro Headmasters, and you want to see pictures of Scorponok and a bunch of other stuff I have, it's all on my Instagram, at BotsObsession, bots_obsession. You can check that out. And with that all said, I'll see you guys in the next video.